Everybody, welcome. Hello, Janie. Hello over there. I'm pinch hitting today for Sarah, who is out of town. Tom Swift is pinch hitting for Lori. So the B team is here, but we brought our A game. We got a great meeting for you today. So let's kick it off with some networking, and be sure to rise and meet your guests.
Okay, thank you. Hey, Mark. How are you, sir?
not Mark Kasher. Hey, good to see you.
My guest today, so excellent that you get started. You're
Too long?
getting a little too long here, buddy.
You know.
Yeah, you're over. 2 minutes over.
All right. All right, here we go. Patsy Watson, kick us off with the Invocation Pledge and National Anthem.
Okay, if everyone will be ready, you all are going to be blessed with me giving the invocation and leading our national anthem. So it's a special day. So a special day. Okay, if you please bow your heads. Dear Lord, we are so very blessed with all of the special people in our lives. Thank you for keeping us safe and healthy as much as possible. Be with all those who are suffering from hunger, war, sickness, or death in family and friends. Give them comfort and hold them in your very blessed arms. Now let's all join together to say the pledge and sing our national anthem. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Richard Stanford's going to be helping me out with the request for happy bucks. Is anyone happy about anything? Oh, a certain San Francisco 49ers fan is happy about something.
Well, I am. I'm happy about that. Only 6 more weeks to go, right before football season starts. But I was blessed. My wife and I celebrated our 25th anniversary this past week, so a little bit of a milestone. But I'm a lucky guy. That's all I got to say. And also, I'm going to be able to represent our club in the district this weekend at the Rotary Multi-District Training Institute down in Pflugerville. And I get to participate with a lot of other public image people at clubs from all over the state of Texas and Oklahoma and a few other places further from that. So it'll be a great weekend, and I get to help facilitate the public image workshop. So, yeah.
Thank you. You might be a lucky guy. We're a lucky club for all the work that you do. Thank you, Mark.
Okay, I've got, as if I'm not speaking enough today. I mean, you know. No, I've got one. Rotary is alive and well in Japan, and I just wanted to tell everybody that. And when you travel, look for Rotary. We were lucky enough to go for a vacation in Japan, and part of the time we ended the trip in Hiroshima, and it was obviously very powerful. And there's a memorial there and several museums, and so it was an educational visit for all of us. But they're also near at the big Central Park. There's a plaque where one of the memorials is donated by the Rotary Club of Hiroshima, Japan. And so I took a picture and sent it to some of us, but Rotary is alive and well, and so it's good to know and glad to celebrate. Yeah.
I'll go. Super excited that former and hopefully soon to be again Rotarian Renee Santana is here. She'll be invited again, but always great to see Renee. All right, introduction of guests. Nolan Duck.
I want everybody to meet Brian Lanning. Brian is going to be starting at SMU, working with Campus Crusade for Christ, our crew as they call it now, this semester. And he's been working in North Texas at the North Texas University up there. And he's been there 6 years, and he's starting here at SMU. So he'll be around the area. So if you run into him, make sure you give him a good, hearty Rotary handshake and hug, or whatever the case may be. Don't kiss him. But other than that, let's welcome Brian Lanning.
As our president-elect mentioned, this is Renee Santana. She used to be a member of our club. She's now a member of the Irving Las Colinas Club, but we're going to be stealing her back. So she's now with the Dallas Observer. She heads up all their advertising, so it'd be a great asset. So everybody pressure her to switch clubs.
I'm already roped into dentistry with a heart and packing day.
There we go.
Yes. Super excited. Renee is awesome. Tom Swift.
I'm going to ask Tracy Hull to say a few words. She's with Cafe Momentum.
Thank you, Tom. Well, thank you all so much. I'll get over here behind the post. My name is Tracy Hull. I'm the Director of Development at Cafe Momentum, a fine dining restaurant in downtown Dallas. We're fine dining, but we're very casual. We are also a nonprofit restaurant. Some say all restaurants are nonprofit. We just put it out there in the front. But so you all have provided us amazing support over the years, and we could not be more grateful. And thank you for the opportunity to share just a few minutes about what we do and what you all have done for us. So we are, as I said, a restaurant. We are entirely run and staffed by youth who are ages 15 to 19. They are all justice involved. So they are coming out of the juvenile justice system, and they are looking for an opportunity to stabilize, to relaunch. And that's what Cafe Momentum does. We are about a 12-month, we're based on a year-long curriculum. It's a fully paid living wage internship for our youth. They'll come and they'll spend about a year learning all the different stations of the restaurant: hosting, serving, busing, dish pit, the behind the scenes, front of house, back of house, cooking, pastry, all the things. They're cooking your food. They're running everything for you. And they're learning all the communication skills, all the business skills, all the hard skills, and all the soft skills that we know the hospitality business teaches our youth who have not had the opportunity to develop these. And at the end of their internship, they are completely employable, whether it's in the restaurant business or they can take these skills into any industry. We have youth who are now part of NASA. We have youth who are part of the restaurant and culinary world. We have youth in the HVAC trades and real estate and all the businesses in between. So it's a real launching point for our kids, and you all are providing them this opportunity. In addition to what they do with us in the restaurant side, we also have our own on-site high school. So education is a non-negotiable for us. We started in 2015 in downtown, and in 2019 we opened our own high school because our kids were having problems getting re-enrolled into school. And education is a non-negotiable. So because we couldn't keep them in school, we said, that's okay, we'll just start our own. So we did, and that's what you all have helped us do. To date, it's an accredited high school diploma, a GED if that's more appropriate. Our youth, the average, if our youth came straight from incarceration back into the school system, about 8% would stay. We have graduated over 65 young people in our Cafe Momentum Academy, and to date about 40% of them are going on to post-secondary into colleges and universities around and then another percentage are going into trade programs, military service, all of the things that provide stability and support for our youth. We also have all the mental health care that they need to stabilize and support. And so when you come and you eat in our restaurant, you are our volunteers. You are providing our youth an opportunity to develop the skills that they've been practicing. It is a good meal. It is good food, I promise. We have just won a James Beard Award, I will say. We've just returned from Chicago, where we were announced as the James Beard Humanitarians of the Year, and all the chefs in our industry around the world and around our country recognized not only us, but our food. So it's calorie-free. When you make positive change, we say you eat, drink, and change lives at Cafe Momentum, and that is the God's honest truth. And so science won't let us make it have any calories. So come on and eat, drink, and change lives. What you all do and what you all will hear about the service that you provide, not only us, but our peer organizations in our community, is powerful. I will leave you with this, not to leave on a down note, but I think it's very uplifting. We have had a really hard week at Cafe Momentum. We lost one of our interns senselessly to gun violence on his way to school. He was not armed. He was on his way to catch his bus to go to UEI, which is to earn his HVAC certification. He was excited and he was proud of himself. He had just graduated from our Cafe Momentum Academy in May. He was valedictorian. He had never had any success in school up until this point, and he was full of hope and he was full of optimism. And what you all did and what you all do with that support is you provide him with hope. He has had a hard life up until this point and had very few wins. And you provided him with the opportunity to believe in himself, to be proud of himself, to know that he was making his mother proud, to know that he made his community proud. And we are reminded at this time how powerful connection is and how powerful community is and what you all are doing together in this room and joining forces. It's powerful and it is changing lives. And this young man left us knowing that he had a place in this city, that Dallas was behind him. And regardless of the fact that you have never met him and he has never met you, you showed him that he belonged and you helped him build his own self-confidence and a place and pride in himself and his community. And I cannot thank you enough for what you all are doing here today and what you all continue to do. And I hope you'll come see us for some calorie-free food. And pardon me for
I have done it. I've done it.
your time.
Thank you. No, thank you very much. Yes.
Tracy, thank you so much for sharing that. Next up, Mark Neese, introduce our marketplace advertiser.
Okay, just a quick housekeeping note. Those of you who were marketplace advertisers in the last Rotary year, please reach out to me and let me know. I'll be contacting people this next week. But please reach out to me and let me know if you want to remain a marketplace advertiser. You can go online on the website and pay in the store. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. If you haven't been an advertiser before and you'd like to talk about it or you're considering it, again, just get a hold of me and let me know. We're going to start filling out the roster for the remaining weeks of who we're going to highlight. And this week, my privilege is to highlight and congratulate past president Nolan Duck, who's generously still supporting us in the marketplace, and also congratulate him just last week. If you don't know this, he was recognized by the International Business Brokers Association for achievement as part of the 2024 Chairman's Circle. So nice industry recognition as well. But we all know he does a great job, not only serving in our club, but also for DBG advisors, and we have a short video that will explain more about that. Whoops, I'm sorry, I go back. There we go.
I'm Nolan Duck, founder and CEO of DBG Advisors, a lower middle market mergers and acquisitions firm. I've been a Rotarian for 34 years and a proud member of the Rotary Club of Park Cities for 19 of those years. The things that I cherish most about Rotary are the relationships I've built and the four-way test. This moral compass leads me to act with integrity, fairness, and to benefit all stakeholders in my business relationships. Most business owners who want to sell are not prepared or well represented. As a result, on average, only 17% of businesses that go to market actually sell. That's where DBG Advisors comes in. We've seen firsthand what happens when a business isn't prepared and properly represented. Owners don't get the full value for their company, or worse, the sale never happens. We successfully close 85% of the companies we take to market, giving our clients peace of mind and a smooth transition into the next chapter of their life. Let's talk about how we can help you achieve your goals as you sell your company. Thank you so much.
And if you also want a nice video to show in your announcement, you can pay a little bit extra with your marketplace advertising and come to my studio and get a video made as well. So, little plug there.
Thank you, Nolan, for supporting the Hub. Nolan does a great job for his clients, so be sure to reach out to him if there's anything you want to talk to about your company. All right, Jack Carpenter, you're up next.
Monty, Doug, Rick, would you stand up? We have other members in the room who are celebrating their birthday this month in August. Please stand and be recognized. All right. So everybody, let's sing happy birthday on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Terrence. Happy birthday to you. Great, thank you. And if you have not contributed to our foundation, I encourage you to celebrate you this month and make a $100 gift for our DBC Foundation. Now, I'd like everybody to look at these slides. With the help of Barb Jeffrey and with support from Sarah, I wanted you to know I did the research. And I'm impressed. And I didn't know that Tracy was coming today. So I had already learned about what we've been doing for her organization and many others. So I'd like you to pay attention to the middle of the slide and to the very top. Our president getting at the goal of 85% participation. And I'm wondering if Nolan planted at 85 in Sarah's mind. Well done, Nolan. But Sarah and my research, thanks to Barb, showed that historically we got a participation rate of about 35%. So I'm confident every one of us is going to be able to help reach that goal this year. What we've been able to do over the years, and what I'm going to do is focus on Nolan term last year. We had 11 recipients. Cafe Momentum was one of those 11. And you can see, and I know the screen is slide, but it starts with North Texas Food Bank at $7,500. And there's a number of people in between at $5,000. And then there were 4 recipients at the bottom that had less than $5,000 that added up to over $11,000. I'm really sorry that you can't see this, but I'm going to come over here and point it out. In my analysis and the data that Barb gave me, this shows going back to 2012, all the recipients we've been giving money to help support their causes. And I noticed we've been averaging since 2012, 12 recipients a year for a total of over $56,000. That's significant. Think about the impact we've done in our community. And thank you, Tracy. Thank you for coming and sharing it. The data is there. The numbers are there. And what convinced me is we've been there. We've been there. And I'm going to encourage each and every one of you, help us continue to be there for organizations like Cafe Momentum. So, we've got a thermometer, and I used the candle. So our goal is 85%. As of 2 days ago, we were at 6%. Now we're at 9%. A couple more participants came through this week. So for those who have in the past participated, thank you. For those who have not, please I encourage you, please consider participating. We're going to be tracking this over the next many months. Our goal is 85. Let's thrive at 85. Thank you in advance.
Thank you, Jack. Jack's talking about our own club's foundation, where we get to support great organizations and nonprofits like Cafe Momentum that align with our club's strategic priorities. So next up, we are going to talk to the awesome Greg Pape, who's going to tell us about the Rotary International Foundation. Let's go, Greg.
Hey, we're going to start out with a nice, succinct 1-minute video on the Rotary Foundation. Mark?
Your contribution to the Rotary Foundation upholds Rotary's promise to do good in the world. In the words of Paul Harris, this is a changing world. We must be prepared to change with it. The story of Rotary will have to be written again and again. And donors like you are part of that story. Thank you.
감사합니다.
Obrigado. Sì, sì, merci. Grazie.
Danke.
Arigato.
Gracias.
Thank you. Well, we have a new fiscal year, don't we? Started July 1. And we've already have had the following Rotarians contribute, which Karen Ferris, our past president, you were the first contributor. Thank you for this fiscal year. Followed up by Jody Ray, past president Barb Jeffries, Jack Carpenter, Susan Dunnenfield, Eric Erickson, past president Happy Franklin, and today, just today, Mark Neese, Richard and Roselle Gilman, and Susan Harris have contributed substantially at Paul Harris Fellow contribution levels. Want to thank Nolan Duck again for your wonderful leadership. Nolan, the foundation achieved over $38,000 in contributions. The Rotary International Foundation, and past president now, Nolan Duck, though, was the single largest contributor to the foundation. Thank you. Just a quick review on the glossary of terms, because if you got the glossary down, you know what the Rotary Foundation's all about. Right, Tom? Okay. EREY stands for? And what is the minimum voluntary contribution for EREY? $100. Perfect. Okay. Very good. You work your way for, as an EREY, $100 in theory, at least, $100 each and every year. In 10 years, you got your Paul Harris Fellow. Most Rotarians accelerate that contribution level, and they might do $250 one year, $300 another year, and they usually get to that Paul Harris Fellow more quickly. We also have PHS, which stands for Paul Harris Society. God, you guys are good. Paul Harris Society. And how many members do we have now? 27. Mark Neese is our latest Jack Carpenter is our latest contribution as a member of the PHS. Mark Neese was number 26. Jack, number 27. Thank you guys for your level of commitment. Is it?
27. Good
All
number.
right. And then as you accumulate to a $10,000 level, you become a major donor. And we have 25 major donors in this club. And that's a very substantial commitment, but it helps the world in many ways. It's nice to have RCPCF, Rotary Club Park Cities Foundation, and the Rotary International working together, because one of the largest, and I hope in our lifetime, we're going to see the Rotary International Foundation whip polio. We're close to it. As you know, we're down to 2 countries, Pakistan and Afghanistan. The money's there, the support's there. It's more a geopolitical conflict with the culture and the people there. The resources are there, and hopefully we can 1 inch every day get towards that goal, get everybody inoculated. All right. Today we're going to finish it off. Mark Neese, if you'll come up here. He's not only visiting, he and his wife with his attorney next week, to set up an endowment fund, but he's also, and he's not only made the commitment 2 weeks ago to be a Paul Harris Society member, but he's now moved up with his contributions to a second level Paul Harris Fellow Rotary pin. Mark, congratulations.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Mark. Now back to Mr. Tom Bright. Got our own raffle that benefits our own club's foundation, and Jeff Brady is going to do the honor of the draw. Thank you. The last three numbers are 188. It's round. All right. Do we have the cards? Are the cards available? Do we have the? Anybody have the cards? Who has the cards? It's in. We've got a new deck of cards because Mark Neese won at the last meeting, so. All right, well, we'll do some quick announcements while Tom's looking at those. So Sarah is asking for all team leaders to, what's that? Oh, Sarah's asking for all the team leaders to make sure you provide your list of names to her for your service and the hours at the beginning of each month. She's got that 85% service goal. Also on August 29th, there's no meeting for Labor Day weekend, so do not show up. I know we had no meeting last week for the gas leak. Actually, I'm a little surprised Bill Sleeper didn't make a gas leak joke. Bill, worry on that. There was.
So may I say something?
Yes.
So it's like Karen Ferris said at the awards banquet, when Lori's not here, bad things happen. So where's my friend Karen? Okay, I think I left a good one in the box. Hold it. Yep, there is one more in the box. Oop. We're good. Good luck, John.
Okay. Get a good one. There we go.
No.
The King of Hearts, thank you. All right, the balance is going to roll over to next week. So our chair of the day, Mr. Richard Stanford.
And it's so important to be able to make presentations, and most of us get a little bit nervous about that. We have a speaker today, a fellow Rotarian who spent 2 decades or so as a TV news anchor, MC, reported on things around the world. He knows how to communicate, so we hope he can help us be better communicators. Now, Jeff was with WFAA for years. The station down in San Antonio, what Kins 5, down in San Antonio. He's more recently been the communications director for the City of Farmers Branch, and now for the Carroll School District in Southlake. Jeff, maybe your best thing you ever did was marry Wesley. Yes, Dr. Wesley Brady is a prominent Dallas physician. They have 3 children. Bo's a senior at your alma mater too, at Texas A&M, and Savannah. Sam, not Bo. Sam's a senior, but Savannah is going to Richmond, and Bo's not very far behind her. You got a family to be proud of. So you've done many things in your lifetime, but hopefully you can help us learn how to present today. So Jeff Brady.
That's the greatest achievement right there. But yeah, you mentioned my background in TV news. It's always a problem when you let a TV news guy get in front of an audience with a live mic and no teleprompter, because you never know what's going to be said. That could be a real problem here. Let me set the timer here. Make sure we don't get crazy. Okay, are you ready, Mark? This is going to be fun. Let me start this way. There we go. Okay, that's me. Have you heard this before? fourscore and 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men and women, Barb, are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived can long endure. Right? We've heard those words. We've heard them many times. Some of us had to study those words in grade school. Some of us had to memorize them. Or some of us maybe traveled to Washington, D.C. to see them carved in marble on a famous monument. So, by virtue of that, let's see if we're going to advance here. Does this, let's see, am I using the right clicker? Yes, I see it advancing. Oh, well, let's see if we can. Maybe I've advanced too far. Let's see if we can get the screens here to catch up with the... Anyway, well, I'll go on. The slides will catch up to me. But we all know who said those words the first time, right? Our 16th president, Abraham Lincoln. He wrote the words, he recited them at a cemetery near Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. It was November 19th, 1863. And he was dedicating that cemetery, of course, for the soldiers, both Union and Confederate, who had fought and died there. Fun fact, though, you may not know this, he was not the keynote speaker. No. He was added as an afterthought, as an epitaph, the benediction. The keynote speaker was a guy named Edwin Everett, who spoke for 2 hours. Jack's nodding, he knows all about it. Spoke for 2 hours. He was a former governor of Massachusetts, president of Harvard, U.S. senator. Nobody remembers a word he said. Lincoln spoke for less than 5 minutes. 272 words. I've counted them, it's true. 272 words. And now, most historians, not all, but most historians say that was the most pivotal and powerful and important speech ever given on U.S. soil. Ever. Why? Because it reframed the way Americans thought about the Civil War. It was no longer a war between the states, a war between two economies, or a war over slavery. It was all those things. But the way Lincoln framed it, it was a war to decide whether or not this country would even survive. And that changed the nature of, for many people, how they viewed the Civil War. And for many historians say it really turned the tide. So, but anyway, why am I talking about this? Look, Brady, it's Friday. I mean, we're done with the week. We're ready to go, start the weekend. We've heard this speech before. Why are you wasting my time? Look, I know you've heard the speech before. We all have. And I'm certainly not saying that I am at that level of speech making with President Lincoln. And none of us probably ever will be. And I'm not encouraging anybody to run for office. And I'm not saying, God forbid, any of us will ever have to navigate another civil war. But what I am saying is all of us as Rotarians have an opportunity to speak from time to time. We might get up in front of a Rotary group like this, or maybe the Sea Cadets. Maybe there's a presentation in front of a group representing the Sea Cadets. Or for Tricia, maybe it's the food bank. Or maybe it's the choir, the Highland Park Choir. Maybe you're going to stand up and say something in front of the choir. We all have these opportunities. So given that, all I'm saying is maybe we can take a lesson from Lincoln and look at some of the things he did and try to adopt them into our presentation the next time we get up and speak in front of a group. Oh, these slides going to work, or are we just going to, I don't know. See, you can't count on technology, folks. You can do all you want to do, but don't worry about it. I know, I've been there. You can count on Brady, that's right. So we're not going to fall apart here. So what did Lincoln, let's just move on. Three things, I'm going to point out three simple things that Lincoln did that are very evident that we should think about adopting into our presentations the next time we get up to do what I'm doing right now. And then we can debate, we can talk about it. Hopefully there will be time for some Q&A and you can poke holes in my theory. And by the way, this is not unique to me. I am not a rocket scientist. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. So these are lessons that I have gleaned from reading and observing and watching great speakers, and there are some parallels between what powerful speakers do time and again to make their speeches and presentations more effective. So that's all, pretty simple. So 3 points. First of all, number one, what did Lincoln do? How did he begin his presentation? How did he begin? 7 years ago. Right, Patsy's got it. So what's he doing there? What is he doing there? He's telling a story. Think about it. 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation. He's telling a story. Not only that, he's telling a very powerful and pertinent story. Why? Everybody in the audience, most likely, had somebody in their family who fought in that war. They may have lost a relative, a grandfather, an uncle, a father, who fought in that war that Lincoln's referencing. That's powerful. That's important. So, scholars say that those who tell stories rule the world. And there's another quote that's in my slide deck about, I think it was the executive from Xerox, who said, you know, we're all just cavemen sitting around waiting for a smart person to tell a great story that'll keep us captivated and teach us something. And really, I mean, that's the truth. Stories work for a lot of reasons. And I'm going to tell you something about brain science. I am not a brain scientist by any stretch, but I will tell you this. I've read a lot about this. And when you tell a story, it does something to the brain. It activates a part of the brain called the amygdala. We've heard of the amygdala, maybe heard of the amygdala before. It's a little walnut-sized piece of protein back here at the base of your head. And the amygdala, when it's triggered, it releases dopamine to the rest of the brain. And dopamine is a hormone that tells your brain, remember this. This is important. This is powerful. That birthday party when you were 5 years old and you got the big chocolate cake, or the time you went over the roller coaster with your girlfriend, or whatever it is, that was dopamine that flooded your brain that makes you remember it. So if you can start your presentation with something that triggers that amygdala to release that dopamine for your audience, you're on the right track. Does that make sense? Are you with me so far? Just a little bit of brain science. I'm not going to go much deeper than that. And you don't have, oh, are the slides with us? Oh my gosh, look at this. Look how awesome this is. We're going to catch up real fast. Those who tell stories rule the world. I just said that. That's an old Hopi Native American proverb. This is the Xerox guy. Scratch the surface of a typical boardroom and you'll find a bunch of people sitting around a fire with briefcases waiting for someone to tell us a story. Alan Kay. And there we are. So, it's everywhere. We've heard these phrases time and again. So just review these with me. You've heard these before. Let's see if I can get this to... Well, a long time ago, we've heard that one. Let's see. It's not up here, though. Oh, here we go. Classic storytelling. Just have to wait. Patience, Brady. Patience. Patience. It all comes, right? In the beginning. It's the beginning of a story, right? We know that. Call me Ishmael, Moby Dick, right? It was a dark and stormy night, right? Yep. Classic Victorian story. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So why am I sharing these? These are all triggers. They're all phrases that tell the brain a story's coming. Oh my gosh, I want to lean in. Pastors know this. Great preachers know this from the pulpit. That's why they'll tell a story to bring you in, to attract you at the very beginning. And then maybe they'll loop around to the end of the story at the end of the sermon. It's a great way to circle around. Yeah, once upon a time. That's another one. So, brains like stories. I just talked about this. This is the amygdala. This is the dopamine hormone. You want to get that dopamine going. If you can get dopamine going in the brain, sounds like I shouldn't be talking about this, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Dopamine is a good thing. You get your audience alive. And you don't have much time, right? We've all heard the metaphor or the analogy of human attention span versus a goldfish. A goldfish has about 9 seconds. Will pay attention for about 9 seconds. The average human being will pay attention for about 8. So you don't have long. You need to start that story quickly. Yeah, we've got a problem. Houston, we have a problem. There's people are not paying attention. No, you have a short amount of time. And by telling a story, I don't mean a long story. Story does not have to be long. It should not be long. But you get the audience engaged, you get them interested in your subject matter if you start with a story. Cub, Sea Cadets. You're going to talk about the Sea Cadets. You could say something like, Luke was bullied when he was in junior high school, and he didn't have a lot of friends, but he came to a new school, joined the Sea Cadets when he entered high school, and he learned leadership, he learned about navigation, he learned self-respect. He learned about workouts and athletics and taking care of himself, and now he's made his way through high school, and Luke has got a scholarship to the Naval Academy, and now he hopes to be a commanding officer of a nuclear submarine one day. Wow. That's a short story. I just made up. But it's a story that now the audience is engaged. Whatever you say about the Sea Cadets, we're kind of engaged. We're interested now because you told us about Luke and about what the Sea Cadets do for young people. So that's what I'm talking about, that kind of a story. It could be a story out of history, like I told at the beginning, well-known history with Lincoln. It could be little-known history. You didn't know Lincoln was not the keynote speaker. It could be a fun fact, 272 words. It could be a media touchstone. Daniel Day-Lewis won the Oscar, right, for playing Lincoln. It was his third Oscar, by the way, but yeah, talk about an important role. Your story. Maybe it's an episode from your own life or career that you could tell at the beginning of your presentation that's relevant. A client story. Or, now some people say, look, Jeff, I'm just not a storyteller. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not good at it. I don't like it. I'm not going to do it. That's fine. You don't have to tell a story. You could use an amazing statistic. You could use a great joke. Jokes are dangerous. Be careful. Proceed with caution. Jokes can be tricky. What you think is funny may not work for everybody. It could be a quote. I started with a quote. I didn't tell a story. I started with a famous quote. Anyway, the point is it should be powerful and pertinent. Sorry about the P's. Powerful and pertinent. Number two, so that's point number one. Point number two, make it shorter. Whatever your speech is, whatever your presentation, condense it. Why? Shorter is sharper and stronger. Always. If you go less than the allotted time, your audience will love you. What are some quotes here? If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. Right? Who said that? Einstein. Yeah, absolutely. E equals mc squared. Theory of relativity for the entire universe. You talk about condensing information. Be sincere, be safe, be breeded. FDR. Famous people have said these things. Brevity is the soul of wit. Shakespeare. Yeah, Hamlet. Remember Lincoln, 272 words. The best of all time. If he could do what he did in 272 words, we should be able to condense our presentation just a little bit, don't you think? Okay, so how do you do it? I've got some tips here. How do you shorten your speech? Number one, no more than 3 points. 3. 3 is the magic number. To be shorter, the rule of 3. Again, all great sermons have 3 points, and they all begin with the same letter, right? Don't get bitter, don't get badder, get better. Right? I think I heard that one a couple times. Again, let's go back to brain science. Brains like patterns. There's a part of your brain called the neocortex, which is the exterior part of the brain, and that's the part of the brain scientists say, this is not something I came up with, but scientists say that's the part of the brain that likes patterns. Likes patterns. That's why we like to play chess, or we like to play checkers, or we like to do, Sudoku. Or we like jigsaw puzzles. We like to look for patterns. We like to put things together. And 3, the number 3, a trio, is the shortest of all patterns. 2 is not a pattern. 2 is 2 of a kind. 4, 5, 6 could be patterns, but 3 is the shortest. We love 3s. Include 3 points in your speech because that's the smallest pattern. It's the easiest to remember. And it's all over. It's everywhere. These trios, that's why our brain is trained to remember 3s. Look at these. Help me here. This is a multiple choice quiz. The Apostle Paul said, Father, Son, and... Right, see, you know these. You know this already. Let's try another one. Thomas Jefferson, 1776. Life, liberty, and... Yeah, see, you guys are acing this. You're so smart. Why is it doing this? Oh, wait, Judy Garland, 1939. Lions, tigers, and... Bears, of course. Yeah. Clint Eastwood, the good, the bad, and the ugly. See, you guys have got this. Rotary, service above self. So all these are classic trios. So the point is our brain is trained. We've evolved. We like trios. We like things in 3s. You'll be a lot more effective if you put your points, you limit your points to 3. There we go. Clint Eastwood. I don't know why it's jumping around like this. Oh, okay, and everything is a trio. There's so many trios. What about these guys, right? Trios are everywhere. 3 states of matter, 3 primary colors, 3-part harmony, 3 branches of government, 3 stooges, 3 musketeers. It's everywhere. There's a reason things are written in 3s. We remember 3s. If you adopt this trio, the 3 points in your presentation, you'll do great. Three points are the most powerful. How else can I shorten my speech? Okay. Guys, delete the data. Delete the data from your presentation, okay? I know there's accountants in here, there's financial people who say, no, I've got to have the data. Data is important, and we've got to have data for decision-making in business. If you're a CFO, it's crucial. If you're an architect, an engineer, you've got to have data. You cannot do without data. But I'm telling you here today, the data does not go in your presentation. We want to know that you've done it. You've done the work. But don't force your audience to analyze the data. That's not good. It's not helpful. Nobody in the audience wants to do that. We want you to have analyzed the data, and then you show it to us. Why am I saying this? 2.2 quintillion bytes of data are created every day. Ouch. Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, that's what it looks like. We don't need more data. Don't need more data. Certainly not in the presentation. Data is not information or knowledge or understanding. Data is not wisdom. It doesn't make you look smarter necessarily, and it doesn't help your audience. Okay, so I'm not saying do without numbers. Remember Einstein, E equals mc squared? Okay, that's fine. He did all the work, and he shortened it for us. He condensed it for us. That's great. That's not data. That's condensation. That's summary, okay? So, for example, we've all seen slides like this before, right? I'm talking about global warming, say, and we're talking about the trends here. So say we're at 2025 right here, and it went up by, our global temperature went up by 1.5 degrees Celsius last year, or 2 years ago. It went up by 1.7 degrees Celsius last year, and now we're waiting on projections to see how much global warming will affect us this year. And then the projections far out to the right of the slide, you can see it could increase by 4, 5, or 6 degrees over the course of the next 70 years. That's a lot. Now, it's a lot of numbers. Is that helpful for you as an audience to compute that, to analyze that, to look at that, to absorb it? Or what else could I say? How about this? Let's just talk about global warming and say I've studied the numbers, and in the last 5 years, the number of hot days has gone up 54%. That's one number. One number. Gone up 54%. So in this case, you, the speaker, have analyzed the data, and you're just giving your audience one number. We don't need a big chart. We don't need a lot of lines and a lot of numbers to try and decipher. One number. You do all the research, and you give your audience one number. That's what I mean by delete the data. Delete most of the data for the presentation, and you'll be a lot stronger. And lastly, to be stronger and shorter, picture this. Maybe you don't need data at all. What if we're talking about putting in a new athletic complex in South Dallas? Okay, we're going to serve a community, an underserved community, and we've done a lot of research. We've saved some money. We've set aside some tax dollars, and we're going to take an abandoned block and put in a new sports complex. It's going to look a lot like this. Kimley Horn, we've worked with the engineers there. They've designed this whole complex. It'll be a football field, soccer field, locker rooms, stadiums, and it's going to cost about $2.5 million, and we're going to serve the residents of South Dallas who live down there, who love soccer, who want to play but don't have a place to play. Three of these citizens down here are named Marcus, Luke, and Teddy. And so we talked to them and got this idea. So is that effective? Or what if you just put up a slide like this? This is Marcus, Luke, and Teddy. These are the taxpayers, or the citizens of Dallas that we're serving. That's why we're going to put in the complex. That's why we're doing what we're doing, so we can serve these citizens who need a place to play, need a place to be athletic, learn some rules of the game. So I'm telling you, these are ways to shorten your speech. Maybe you don't need a lot of numbers or a grid at all. Just show us the why, okay? So keep it short. Number one, this is Maya Angelou. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel, right? So we may have heard that before. That's Maya Angelou. Okay, so start with a story, okay? Keep it short. 3 points. Shorter is sharper and stronger. And my third idea from Lincoln is serve the crowd by understanding them. Or what I say, tailor the talk, okay? Tailor the talk. Make sure your presentation is customized for that group. You don't want to just have one speech that you roll out for every group every time you get up to talk. It needs to be tailored to that particular audience. And there are certain ways to do it. Seek first to understand, then be understood. Stephen Covey, right? So we've heard him before. Suit the action to the word to the action. Again, Shakespeare. Love Shakespeare. Gotta love him. The two most precious gifts anyone can offer you are their time and attention. Very smart guy said this. Oh, that was me. Oh, that was me. I tell my kids this all the time. I say, look, the most important thing people can give you is their time and attention, so don't waste it. So know what you're going to do when you get up to talk. Brains like the familiar. This is last time I'm going to talk about brain science, okay? There's an amazing phenomenon that happens when a speaker is really in sync with his audience. Okay, again, the brain scientists have determined this. They're called mirror neurons that align between the speaker and the audience. So they study the brain waves of the audience. At the same time, they're studying the speaker. And when they're really in sync, when the speaker is really effective, they line up. Okay, it's called neural coupling. Sounds dirty, but it's not. Okay, neural coupling, synchronized brain activity, better understanding, empathy, and retention. So when you tailor your speech to meet the needs of the audience, to meet them where they are, you're going to get closer to that. You will probably be in sync with your audience better than if you just give them a routine speech that you give to everybody else. What every audience asks, why should I care? What's in it for me, Brady? Okay, tell me something that I haven't heard before. Okay, have I heard this before or not? What every speaker should ask before you get up to present, what matters to them? What are they trying to accomplish? What do they need to know? What problems do they need to solve, and how can I help them? Okay, that's really what you need to think about before you get up to talk. How to do it. Okay, how do you figure out what your audience needs? We'll consider the demographics. Are these students? Are these retirees? Are they all from Dallas? Are they from other states? What is their business profession? What is their background? You can interview your host. You can also do the research, and by that I mean you can surf the web and find out a little bit about the organization before you go speak to them, or you can just do a survey. Maybe whoever's invited you to speak, ask them or ask them to send out an email survey about the group. Hey, what matters most to you? What's top of mind? What would be helpful for me to speak on? And I can tailor my talk to address those needs. So, for instance, for an example, say you're talking about waste management, okay, very important topic, landfills, precious resources, and you're talking about waste management, and you're talking to a group of civil engineers or assistant city managers. You might want to talk about ethane gas and how some landfills in California have found a way to recycle that gas into power grids to power the lights or the security around the landfill. If you're talking to Boy Scouts, then you're probably going to want to start with a fart joke. Fart joke. That's what works. And believe me, I've spoken to both types of, both groups. I know that works. Works every time. Mark, am I right? I'm right, yeah. Customize the details. Lincoln knew his audience well. Okay, so let's bring it home. Lincoln knew his audience well. He tailored his talk. He kept it short. He started with a story. And so he ended by saying that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, but that this nation shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, and for the people, right, shall not perish from the earth. Boom. Drop the mic. So if that's the epitome, yeah, he knew they needed help. They needed help and hope, right, to save the Union. Those are just some of the ideas. Those are just some very basic ideas that we could learn from Lincoln as to how he crafted the Gettysburg Address, and some ideas that we might use ourselves. So what did he do? He started with a story. He kept it short. A short speech is sharper and stronger. And lastly, he tailored the talk, or he served the crowd by tailoring his remarks to that specific audience. And that's what we should do the next time we have an opportunity to get up and speak, because it really is an opportunity. So thank you for your time. And are there any questions? Are there any questions?
Jack?
Couple?
Jeff, another trio, an idea that I learned a long time ago. I want to see what you think. You make sure you tell them what you're going to tell them.
Yes.
You tell them, and you tell them what you told them.
Yes.
I heard repetition can be effective. What do you think?
Totally, absolutely. Repetition is huge. And there's so much more. I'm kind of a public speaking nerd because I love it, and I'm not the best at it, but I am a fan of people who can get up and talk to an audience and do something effectively. And so there's so much to talk about. And I have a 3-part series of classes I developed when I was at Farmers Branch. And the first one is just about body language. It's just about because some people are nervous about, what do I do with my hands? You know, where do I make eye contact or not? Is that intimidating? So there's a lot in this that some of us take for granted, but repetition is absolutely crucial. Yeah, and that's advertising 101 too, right? That's why you have to hear a commercial 5 times before you recognize the jingle. Yes, sir. Hey, Nate.
Jeff, I give a lot of scientific presentations.
Yes.
This is my background.
Yes, you do.
And there's a saying, a picture paints 1,000 words.
Yes.
So how do you know how to tell your audience and when to put in a graph or something like that, or when don't include it?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of graphs of any kind because generally speaking, when you're creating that PowerPoint for your presentation, you're at a laptop computer, right? So the screen is 2 feet away from you, and you're creating a graph, and of course you can see it. You can read the numbers, it's very obvious how to read it, but when you present it here, you've got to worry that Greg and Cub can read your graph, and they're 50 feet away. Are they going to be able to? No, they can't see it. They cannot see it. It's a waste of time. So it's better for you to do all the work on the graph, analyze it, and summarize it, and put up one number. After you analyze the graph and you understand what these numbers mean, here's what you need to remember. Growth of 17% over the last year. And you put up 17 and an arrow up, and now Cub is happy because he can see it. He can follow you. Does that make sense? That's what I would suggest. And nobody does that. Oh, Tom Rhodes.
Tom
gets the last one.
Oh, man, Tom.
I took a Toastmaster curriculum one time, and they were teaching us how to introduce a speaker.
Oh.
And they said, when you introduce a speaker, you never say the guy's name or girl's name. You tell the audience why it's going to be important for them to listen to this guy, why this, whatever he has to say, is important to them, and then the very last thing, you give their name.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with that?
I would, yeah. Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you for the presentation on presentations. We can all be better on that. A book's going to be placed in your honor at the Jack Lowe Senior Elementary School, so thank you so much, and thank you for the fart joke, too. That's what I was thinking of for the gas leak, so I'm glad you brought that up. So if you're driving across the highway, you might see East Texas A&M on one of the buildings out there. And if you wonder what that is, David Wayaki is going to bring our next speaker next week, Abby Harper from East Texas A&M. So thank you for that. So everybody, will you please rise for the 4-way test? Please join me. For all the things we think, say, or do, first, is it true? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Well done, President-elect. Well done. For all of us. Why walk over?